Dear teachers, dear family, I have a question. With the 4 different kinds of nurturement, I learned that volition or aspiration is also something which nurtures me. And now in my life I feel that I'm in a situation where I don't have a clear aspiration, or I'm looking for my aspiration or for my volition. And feeling that I don't have it right now, and then feeling that I miss this nurturement from this aspect, I'm very much struggling with myself. And of course then the mind starts also of, you don't have it, you should have it, otherwise you are under-nurtured. So I want to ask you how to deal with this situation.
Dear friend, thank you for your question. It's good that you are here on a retreat to look deeply into this. When we practice spirituality and we practice meditation, we have to learn to come inwards. And when we come inwards, we look at our life, we look at our aspiration, we look at what we want to offer. And there are times when we feel stuck a little bit, and we may not feel that there is a direction that we can aspire to yet. And this is a struggle that all of us young people will meet. But when we practice and we come back to our in-breath and our out-breath, we enter back to our body, we enter back to our heart. And when we really listen deeply to our heart, and we have a conversation with our heart will give an answer. There is a deep aspiration in each and every one of us. And that aspiration is to do good for our loved ones, our family, and our nation, our society. And our aspiration always begins with one step first. And you know, the aspiration will also grow day by day. As a monastic, we also come in with a very big aspiration. But as we practice and as we live, we notice that our aspiration will also change and will also grow. But when you look around you and you feel that you are not being inspired, and you feel that you are not having a direction, you have to ask yourself, what is it? What are the conditions around me that is not offering me that? And when we can identify those conditions, and then we know where we need to go, what environment we need to put ourselves into, so that it can water the seeds that gives food to our aspiration. So when we practice meditation and we are in touch with all the seeds that are in us, the goodness, the happiness, the joy, and inside of us there is an aspiration to serve. Just like the tree, like all of our brothers and sisters shared, there is a time and space when the tree needs to offer. So as a human being, we know the nature of interbeing. We are connected to everyone. We are connected to this planet. So there's also a need for us that we need to offer back. And that can be the first step to finding our aspiration again. Knowing that as a human, we receive, but at the same time, we want to offer. Just like if you've experienced in this retreat, if you have offered happiness to one person, you have made somebody smile, you have offered joy to somebody, then there is a nutriment that is coming right back at you. And that nutriment is something that helps grow your spiritual body, your happiness body. So aspiration is also coming in many elements. And at the moment, we may not feel there is a great aspiration, but there are very small aspirations that are there. Today, you may want to have an aspiration, I want to care for myself. Learning to care for yourself is also an aspiration. Learning to love yourself is also a very noble aspiration. So the small aspiration that we give rise to will lead to the bigger aspiration. Just like enlightenment. I think once we've entered the spiritual path, we all want to also be enlightened. But enlightenment doesn't come just like that. It takes a small step here and there. The smaller enlightenment will lead to the bigger enlightenment. So therefore, don't avoid the small, simple happiness, because all of those small joy and happiness are the nutriment to the bigger aspiration. And only when you have enough stability and joy, then you can realize your bigger aspiration. Maybe at the moment, we need to nourish the joy and the love inside of us so that the true aspiration has its chance to resurface and show itself. So the journey inwards is also to recognize what is the meaning of life for us? What is the meaning of happiness? And when you really take time to really look at it and to speak with it, then your heart will have a chance to answer. But in today's day, sometimes we're too busy. There's too much going on. And we don't give ourselves, we don't allow ourselves to have that conversation. And so when we practice just the in-breath and the out-breath, we are nourishing our heart and we're giving our heart a space to really share with us what our deep aspiration is. It is there inside of you. You just need to take time to reflect and time to look at it for it to manifest. And you have community, you have brothers and sisters, you have friends that sometimes we can be aspired also by their aspiration. And in today's day, community is very important. We don't have to strive as a solo, as a hero, but as a community, the impact can be much more powerful, much more strong. And in this space, in this retreat, you can realize one thing, that you may think that only you wanted to live a happy life. You want to be someone who apply mindfulness into your life. But actually here you can see 800, 900 people also has that same aspiration. And that is why all of us, we are here to aspire. So there are many aspirations that are there. We just have to recognize it. And with mindfulness, we have that light to shine so that we see the small, simple aspiration for it to nourish the bigger aspiration. Okay? Thank you. Thank you very much.
J'ai une amie qui a beaucoup de problèmes et qui se fait beaucoup de mal, qui se mutile et je ne sais pas quoi faire pour pouvoir l'aider.
I have a friend who has many problems and she has a tendency to self-destruction and automutilation, and I don't know what to do to help her.
The first thing you can do it, that you try to be present for her or for him, that the person who needs you, your friend. And then secondly, maybe you can help, but your help will not help. You need to be strong, solid, fresh, beautiful. And in order that you have to go back to your in-breath, calming out breaths, relaxing, and then you touch your stillness, your more serenity, your more peace, and then you listen to her. You suffer for what? And you listen deeply. Sometimes she complains superficially, but there is something underneath of what she complains. You have to listen superficially, deeply, and you ask question whether this is real, what she needs. And then after that, you say that, I have to ask my Buddha, because you are in the same time a normal person with all the up and down, but you are also a Buddha. So I need to be a Buddha first. And you touch your deep, calming, and then you ask her to do the same. To Buddha, try to reach the Buddha in you, more calm, listen deeply, understand deeply, and then slowly you show your insight, your view, and share with her. So the collective insight is better than the individual insight. But first you have to touch the peace, the serenity in you, freshness in you, solidity in you, and second part, listen to her, listen to him, and listen superficially. She complained like that. That deeply there is other something. She didn't speak out, but it's deeper. And then after that, you go back to your Buddha, make a walk, calming, and that is you practice stillness in you, peace in you. You look deeper in a vipassana in order to understand. Put yourself, put in her case, put yourself in your case, and then slowly you have some little insight, and you share with her. And then you ask her to practice like you. Maybe she find also a way to help herself. So two persons help together. And your presence is very important. Your presence and your practice is very important. Okay, được không con?
How can I stop myself from being anxious?
just do a simple practice. If you feel anxious, yeah, now you are anxious now, yeah. So you breathe in, try. Breathe in, breathe out, relax yourself. Yeah. Again, breathe in. Yeah, try. You can close your eyes if you like. Yes. Breathe in and out.
Closer to your mouth, the microphone closer to your mouth. You don't hear what you say.
Oh, sorry. This is my problem, yeah. So, if you see there is anxious within you, yeah, no need to think so much. Just aware there is anxious there, yeah. Just now we try again, yeah. Now you are anxious, isn't it? Are you anxious now? Yeah. You just simply, yeah, you just close your eyes. Try. You just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Yes, yeah. Just aware there is anxious within me. I know there is anxious. It's okay to be anxious. Just close your eyes. Yeah. It's okay to be anxious. Yeah. It's okay. Yeah. Now just simply aware your breathing. Do a deep breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. Just relax yourself. Yeah. So just now you can see your anxious is coming down. Yeah. So next time if you have anxious, just recognize it and aware of it. There is anxious arise in me. Then stop for a while. Just stop for a while. Do the breathing. A deep breathing in and out. Relax myself. Yeah. If you have, you also can slowly explore a little bit. Where this anxious come from? Yeah. Sometimes you can ask this question: where this anxious come from? Yeah. Don't always ask us to get answer. Yeah. So you try to ask yourself, where this anxious come from? Just aware of it and see. So I hope next time you come back again, you share with us. Yeah. Try to discover where this anxious come from. Yeah. Sometimes we always expect the answer. Yeah. But it's better you try to find your answer. Try to know it. Yeah. Then the life become interesting. If not, always you just receive the answer. It's so boring. Yeah. So sometimes try to find the answer yourself and ask, where this anxious come from? There must be many reasons. Try to find it and discover it. Then your life will become more interesting. Isn't it? Yeah. Life can be very beautiful if you start to discover something. If you're always just receiving, the answer, blah, 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 blah. And then you feel boring, yeah? So if you discover, I discover this anxiousness come from because I want to have something, example, but I cannot get it. So I feel anxious, if I let this go, then what will happen? Maybe you can find some freedom within you. Yeah. So this is my suggestions, not my answer. My suggestions. Yeah. So sometimes if you feel very anxious within you, don't try to find the answer yet. Don't answer that question. Try to breathe in and out. Relax yourself for a while. Yeah. Then slowly try to discover it, where it comes from. And the most important thing is, how I'm going to solve it. Yeah? And remember, there will be a solution. Always. Yeah? For the teens, remember, when you face any difficulty, there's always a solution. And also remember, try, if you're stuck there, try to find someone to share and ask. Sometimes ask the wise one. Like example, our brother here. Yeah, yeah, our sister here. Ask. Yeah? Sometimes you cannot find anymore. Try to ask. Yeah? Always remember, no matter what kind of difficulty we are into, there's always a way out. Yeah? Remember that. Yeah? Sometimes life itself is very precious. It's very, very precious. Yeah? So, for you, young men, or not young men, yeah? For you, yeah? Try to discover that. If you find that, then you stop the agitation slowly. By your own. Okay? Can you try that? Yeah? So remember to breathe when you feel anxious. Okay, stop. And breathe and relax yourself. Yeah? And try to see where this anxious come from. Yeah? Yeah. You will find your own answer. Okay? Thank you. Yeah.
And now we will listen to written questions.
So, dear Sangha, there's this question. I have been practicing for a long time. How do I keep myself from feeling superior to those who are just beginners?
Dear friends who ask that question, this is not only your weakness, it's the weakness of many people who practice for many years. And you come to Plum again, stopping, the bell ring, again, looking deeply. But you know the form. I'm not sure that you really practice the contents. And so, maybe if you don't judge superiority or inferiority, you just observe. And some beginner practice so well and so deep. I remember my teacher, Thầy Nhất Hạnh, and during the war in Vietnam, and we received so many bad news, bombardment here and people not dying there. But then it's time for lunch. So I prepare the fragrant herb plate, and I know that Thầy is carried away by the bad news. And I said, dear Thầy, here is that in South Vietnam we call ngò, but in North Vietnam how they call lá mùi. And then Thầy is pulled back to the reality that he have to live the present moment. But you know, Thầy is a master of mindfulness. But still, he's carried away by so many bad news and he do not live the present moment. And so a beginner like me at that time, I think that 40 years ago, I bring him back because I practice the bell ring. I practice going back to the present moment. I think that he also going back, but then right away the news, bad news arrived. And so I said that Thầy, but I didn't mean to remind him. I just try to practice and I'm preparing a plate of fragrant herb. And I said that in South Vietnam we call ngò. In North Vietnam how people call Thầy? And then he come back to the present moment and said, in North Vietnam we call mùi or something like that. And then he's back to the present moment. And he wrote it somewhere in my book saying that she is also my teacher. But it's not a teacher because I just practice the present moment. And then sometimes you think that you know everything. And then you think that, oh, the bell ring, we have to stop. But you stop superficially. And if you are carried away by very deep suffering, deep pain, and then you practice superficially, while beginner can practice profoundly and go back to the fragrant herb instead of being carried away by very bad and painful news. Try to look deeper.
Caro Tai, caro Sangha, volevo chiedere qual è la via per rimanere in contatto con ciò che ci circonda, ma non attaccati, per cui essere liberi e rendere liberi le persone intorno a noi, ma rimanere in contatto profondo.
Dear Tai, dear Sangha, I would like to answer this question. I would like to know how I can take care, stay in deep contact with the people around me, but also set them free. So to be free from them and also set them free. But still remain in a deep contact with them.
I think that I'm trying to do that, but I'm not sure that people are free. But I try to be in touch with those who come, and I know that each practitioner have joy, peace, but suffering. And my in-breath is to calm myself, out-breath to free myself to obstacle and suffering. And in-breath, I wish that all my friends, those who come here from far, from away or close, they must be peaceful. They train themselves to be peaceful like me. And I pray for them, all of them will be free from their suffering. And they will touch the Buddha in themselves and free themselves thanks to the Buddha in themselves. It's what I wish and I pray, but I don't know if they obtain that. Maybe a number of them obtain that, maybe not yet, but you never know.
Dear Sangha, dear friend, there are certain people in our surrounding that maybe give us a feeling of a lack of freedom in them and in ourselves. Maybe because of their way of speaking and acting or their attitude. So again, we have to look back to ourselves and establish this freedom in our thinking, in our speaking, in our acting. Maybe we also are the person who imprison the other person in a kind of box, right? Like we think of him or her as just the way that we have perceived them our whole life, or the acts we have seen them doing. We put them in that box, in that judgment. So freedom is, first of all, the freedom from the judgments. And also, freedom is also the understanding that the reasons another person close to me is speaking, thinking, acting in this way is because there is some suffering inside of them. Maybe there has been a trauma that maybe they even don't know of. Maybe there is something transmitted from their ancestors that they don't know of, or maybe they know about it. But they cannot set themselves free from it yet. And that's why it's so important for us to take time to look at what we have received from our ancestors, what we have received from society, from education, and also how we are nourishing ourselves every day with the 4 kinds of nutriments. And to set ourselves free from the things that may be unwholesome in those nutriments. And to help the other person to do the same. Once I have put someone in a box, it becomes so difficult to interact and to allow the person to show me that they're also outside of that box. They have many things. They are a whole in a universe. The other person, my friend, my parent, my child, they are a whole universe that I haven't understood so deeply yet. And so if I only see a very small part, a very small perception, then of course they cannot be free. Whatever they do and say, I might feel really unhappy. I might feel stuck. So sometimes we can take a piece of paper and we can even make a portrait of the other person that we think is not free, or we don't feel that our relationship is free. And we make a portrait of what is going on, and then we try to see more details. We try to look at certain details that make us feel so difficult and try to look beyond it. Like when you're looking at a painting and you have a first idea, oh, this is a city. This is just a city, and then you just go and look at something else. But if you stop in front of the painting and you look at many details and you look closely and you look from also further, then you will see the spirit of the artist and you will see the things that are happening in this city. So when you set yourself free from your perceptions, then also you give many chances to the other person to reveal to you who they truly are and to act with much more serenity and to interact together, building a beautiful path. Thank you.
Maybe another written question, sister?
This question pertains to the third mindfulness training, the part that states, I am determined not to engage in sexual relations without true love and a deep long-term commitment made known to my family and friends. So the question is, This text can be understood to include the possibility that a person could have sexual relations with more than one person, as long as true love and a deep long-term commitment known to family and friends is present. In other words, as long as the relations do not cause the community to break. Is this understanding correct in your view?
As a monk or a nun, it takes more time for us to understand this. More time to digest this. We understand.
Okay, give me the mic.
No, we understand.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it? I think one is already enough. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. One is already so difficult. You want to have a second one? Even more difficult. I'm a little bit confused, but yeah. Is it one is already so difficult, you want to have a second one and a third one? Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, I never have this experience before. But I think I don't really understand the question. Yeah, but yeah, I want to add this a little bit. This sexual energy. Yeah, yeah. Maybe you think one is not enough. You want to have a second one. Yeah, I think we was born that we have this sexual energy within us. I think it's quite normal for everyone to have it. But what is the purpose having this sexual energy? The real purpose of having this sexual energy? Is this just for pleasure? Is this more deeper meaning of it? Having this, what we call this sexual energy arise within us? Yeah. Sometimes think a little bit deeper. Is this just for pleasure? Yeah. From my point of view, I see the sexual energy have two reasons. Yeah. One is to have the future, I call the continuation. Okay, that is the first one. Yeah. So the second one is if after you married as a couple, I think this sexual energy, it will become very pure and very beautiful among the couple. Isn't it? You can make your relationship become more deeper. Yeah. So I don't think it's about just the pleasure. Yeah. But maybe sometimes we misuse it. Yeah. We just try to find the pleasure. But actually the sexual energy can be very holy and very pure if we see more in a deeper level. Yeah? Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. It's not just for pleasure. Yeah. It's for our future offspring, yeah, our future. And also for the more close relationship between husband and wife. Yeah. I think that is the most beautiful. If you always just want to have that pleasure, I don't think that is pure anymore. That is a desire, a greed to want more. So that's why it can create a lot of suffering. Yeah. So that's why I think we have this third training. Yeah. Yeah. If you see in the world now, how much suffering that caused from this sexual energy. Yeah. I don't know if you see in the website. Yeah. I think the most they can make money from that. I don't know. Yeah. So they misuse what we call the true essence of this, what we was giving this sexual energies. Yeah? Yeah, if we can see in a more pure way, it can be very beautiful. Yeah? Yeah? This is, yeah. Sorry, because I never have any relationship before, so I don't, but this is my point of view, yeah? So thank you. This is my answer.
Yeah. Dear Sangha, I also want to just share on the spirit of the third precept, third mindfulness training on true love. This is the training that we train ourselves when we are in love with somebody and we want to share our life, our aspiration, our happiness together. I think when we're really in love with somebody, that love goes beyond pleasure. And that love touches something very deep in that person that we want to commit our love, our life with. It is the aspiration of that person that also combines with our aspiration. The hope of that person that also combines the hope of our own hope. So this love is very pure and is very powerful. It gives you life, it gives you energy. And so when you are in love with somebody like that, the commitment you make is not just about the body, but it's about what you aspire to. But when we look at our body is something very sacred. Our body comes from our parents, comes from our ancestor. And it is also the body that offers life, that offers a continuation. So our body becomes a very sacred place. And when you love somebody and you are in a deep commitment with somebody, this body is not an open market for anybody. It is only for someone you truly love. And in that way, we learn to protect ourselves and we learn to protect our loved ones. And the kids that we have, when they when they see that the parents learn to love another, are committed with each other, they learn from that. So our life is also the teaching to our children. We teach our children how to love by the way we love each other. Remember that. It's not only in school, but the one thing the kids pick up from the most is from the parents. So the way we love and we protect our commitment, we will protect our relationship, is the first gift we can offer to our children. And that is what the children, they will use as their foundation. And that is what they will learn from first. So the third precept, the third mindfulness training, is the training to continue to cultivate the love that we have for our partner. And when we really, truly love and we truly see that that love is sacred, then we will want to protect it. Because once again, that kind of love is a source of energy, is a source of life that connects to us and gives us energy every day. So the third precept, that is why it's called true love. Because in true love, it is beyond just pleasure. True love holds the happiness, the joy, the aspiration, the hope of you, of your partner, and of your family. And when you have that, you want to protect that. Because that is something very sacred for yourself and for your loved ones. So that is also just my point of view on this third mindfulness training. Thank you very much. So dear friends, I think we've had a wonderful and very fruitful time together. One more question, please come up. So this will be the last question of our sessions of question and answer.
We'll end at 6 p.m. Maybe in behalf of some of us, I would like to start to mediate, sell, promote all the goods in your store and your activities, and with a commission to finance some that I know, but I believe that there are many that are not so rich to be able to come here. This is one. Two, I think it's time to finance a little bit our Sangha. That it's a one-woman show now, but she needs people there. She needs more people there. She needs support. The Sangha of Barcelona is very active, and the woman that is leading it, I think she needs support. She needs more people, and we have to finance it. So I think it's a good idea, at least it's my opinion, it's a good idea, that the same that you have a store here, we'll have a store. And with the commissions, we'll finance it. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, no. So if anyone here knows what I'm talking about? No. No business people here. Okay. Okay, so I would like to start it as the first one. Who do I speak to?
Thank you, dear friends. You know, our aspiration, the monks and nuns here, we didn't become a monastic to do a business. And that's the first thing. We are here to learn to cultivate compassion, mindfulness, love, and understanding. And that is what we offer here. The bookshop, all of those are just secondary things, as gifts so that our friends can bring home as a token or a reminder of the practice. But I believe that as a community, the more we grow, we have to be very careful in what direction we grow. The more popular we become, the more demand we will receive from the outside world. But Plum Village can only be true and can only be real when the monks and nuns are really practicing mindfulness, concentration, and insight. Or else we just become a product to sell. And that is truly, deeply not our aspiration. But we have many good friends in our community, many good lay friends who are serving the Sangha that you don't see. We have many projects in our community. We offer scholarships to many friends that come here that you may not know. We have many programs that we do, and we continue to invite the talent from our lay community to contribute to the Sangha. But if you want to contribute, you have to be also in line with the view and the aspiration of the monks and nuns. Only then can there be harmony. And we do have some friends that are coming this autumn that will live in Plum Village and will start to help the monks and the nuns in the bookstore. And we will also slowly expand our shops to reach other areas, for example, an online shopping, mindfulness online shopping. But that is not our main focus. If we think that is our main focus, then I feel we will slowly lose our direction as monastics. And we also need your support so that we don't lose our aspiration and our direction. And one of the teaching that our teacher has offered us is learning to say no. As a community, we have to know our limits and we have to know when to stop in order to protect and to continue to nourish the monastic community. And I think one of the treasures of Plum Village is having a monastic community, if you agree with me. And you know, the monastic community is very rare. And a monk or a nun to go the long distance is not as easy as you think. Like Brother Kali shared, there are also storms and weathers and war that happen inside. Even for monastic, there are times that we have to close off so that we can retreat and take care of ourselves and to continue to grow as a monk, as a nun, in order for there to be stability so that we can continue to offer these retreats. And one of our insight is anything can happen in the monastery as long as there is true brotherhood and sisterhood and a true practice. And in this present moment, as the community is transitioning from Thay's presence as our teacher, this is what we are focusing on right now. Stabilizing, caring, and nourishing our monastic community. When Thay was there, his energy and his capacity to embrace all of us was very powerful, very strong. But without Thay, we have to see we are his continuation. We are the teacher, but we are also the community. And that is the direction in this present moment that all of us monastic, we are investing ourselves in. Caring for each other, embracing each other, and nourishing each other so that as monastics, we can continue and we don't lose faith and we don't lose the trust and the love we have with one another. And for me, that is the greatest thing we can accomplish and to continue our teacher's legacy. And as long as the Sangha here continues, then our teacher will continue. Like what we have been sharing so far about continuation in today's Q&A. So we realize that as long as our aspiration is still intact, our practice is still intact, then Thay is still present in this community. And the business aspect, we will welcome. We will not say no, but it has to be in line with the path and the aspiration also of this monastic community. And I thank you for your idea and for planting that seed. And I believe that as a community, if we continue to grow in their stability, then the other sanghas around the world will continue to grow. Because if the root, which is Plum Village here, is strong, then the branches, the leaves, the flower will continue to bloom. But if there is trouble at the root, maybe there will be trouble there. But at the same time, the branches, the flowers, is also nourishing the root. So as sanghas, your practice, your stability is also the contribution to this root in Plum Village here. So together we are really one. And together we will all continue Thay. We will all continue his legacy, his aspiration, and the engaged Buddhism that he has opened. Thank you very much, dear Sangha. Thank you, brother. So now let us listen to the 3 sounds of the bell as we come back to our breathing. Let go of all notions. Be present. Breathing in, we are all part of one body. Breathing out, together we will go forward.